Greetings, gamers, and welcome to the 225th live stream from the Misfit Gamer Studios. I am your host, Vortex, and this is D&D Discussions. On today's episode, we have the Henchman, a new background coming from Desmar Sama, and I'm very curious about this one, hoping that it gives us some new inspiration because we've talked about this before. Backgrounds are kind of lacking in a lot of things. So join us as we find out exactly what Des has in store. Let me go ahead and get this back up and set up so Kage can properly join us. And boom. What up?
Shalom, my friends. I am happy to be back. Yeah, very excited to be here. It's going to be another very cool review, as always. I love Dez's ideas for all of his backgrounds and whatnot. So, it always giving, at the very least, me a little bit of inspiration. So, let's see what we got going on today. Yeah, I'm hyped.
Yeah, I know we have like 5 of these backgrounds. Technically.
I believe so. How many do we have left total? Yeah, there are 5 total, including the henchman. 5 more for us to review, and then we have a subclass from Devs, and then 2 other subclasses from Hecate, because Hecate's be rocking it like that.
Remember, Des, don't fall for the hype. Be the hype.
You are the hype.
I remember I did that for a TikTok. It was just not to fall for the hype, but to be the hype. And only one person posted the Vegeta meme.
Wild.
Also, so what's the update on your green screen? Do we have an update on the green screen?
So this was 100% my fault. I told you what happened to it last time.
Yeah.
I sent it back, and through all the chaos that's been happening back and forth within the past week, I forgot to reorder it. So I literally just did that yesterday. I was like, oh shit, I did all of that. I returned it, and I was thinking about streaming tonight, and I'm like, just literally going through what the setup was going to be, and like, do I have everything, like remembering that I had my phone in my backpack, and then I was like, oh shit, I didn't get the fucking green screen. I forgot to reorder that because I should have it by now. Whatever, it's fine.
We'll get there. It's fine. It's fine.
It's coming, guys. It's coming.
Des, do you know that have you watched the creator commentary for DBZA yet? Because they do have an entire series. It's a secondary channel. The creators at Team 4-Star. They do behind the scenes, so they go episode per episode in like a whole podcast. So they just sit down and watch every episode, and it's usually 2 of the voice actors will always be there, just constantly breaking down different scenes. I loved DBZA, but I grew such a bigger appreciation listening to them. Because not only, like, you knew they were fans, you knew that obviously it took dedication and passion to do what they did, but Absolutely. I just did not understand the level at which they went in. Like, not to diminish anything, but there was a lot of assumptions made that majority of what they did was just cutting up the right scenes, right? Like, just cutting the right scenes out of certain episodes and getting them in the right order so they could make their episode, dubbed over. I just assumed. Because that's what I just assumed. It's like, not to diminish it, but I just kind of assumed that was the majority of their method, right? They would cut up the episode to make sense for their lyrics, and then their script, and they would just dub it over. Bro, they damn near recreate every episode, not necessarily redrawn from hand, but I mean, they've redone so much. They will cut out scenes. They'll use different backgrounds from different scenes just to make it fit or like elongate the time. They'll do new animations. They've changed colors of outfits because the scenes they used were wrong. But yeah, exactly. I always forget their names. But it's absolutely phenomenal just when they break down the things they did in the animation. The voice acting, like listening to them break down, just how they built the script, the whole I am the hype episode. It just watching them break it down, I knew that they were fans and they had a passion for it because they did it for so long. But listening to like how they came to these classic lines and then what it took for them to feel like they delivered it properly, like you hear them and you're just like, oh yeah, I know that line perfectly. But then to listen to them, listen to how they toiled over it, for take after take after take, just being like, no, it's not right. It needs to sound like this. And it's like, so all of those moments that had that impact weren't just damn good. It was curated for that. And it's so great, right? It's like, it's just listening to them have a good time, but also just understand what it took for them to understand the levels of DBZ and the episodes and the lore to do what they did on the scale that they did.
Yeah, that's legit. I want to. I if you get a chance, send that to me because I would love to check that out.
We'll do it. At the end. Remind me at the end of the episode. I'll send over a couple links in the Discord because it's great, dude. Like, just start from episode 1. Again, it's basically a podcast, but it's all episodic. It goes based on each episode of the series of DBZ. Or DBZA. So you'll just sit down, episode 1, and it's just them talking. And like every 30 seconds, they'll just pause and be like, "I gotta say something about this. Hold on." And they do. They get. It's ridiculous. They'll like, someone will unpause it after they start speaking. You'll get like 10 seconds, maybe 2 words, and the other person will reach across the table like, no, pause. I got this right here. This animation that was a bitch. And then they'll have like 10 minutes of conversating. They'll be like, okay, play. Okay, wait, pause. That line right there. It's like, Jesus, guy. Like, it's so great. But sometimes you're just like, I just want to watch this. I want to see the piece. But yeah, I will send that to you. It is phenomenal, and it is definitely where it's unfortunate because I just recently found it like as of a couple months ago, but it's like 2 years old. It's like they did that years ago, and it's like, oh man, I kind of wish that was more recent, but I'm a little behind. But I am glad I found it. I only be able to be that talented, right?
If only. But right. Honestly, it's the vision.
Ooh, okay. So, what we got Des here. I don't think anybody else is going to be showing up. So let's get started.
Let's do this.
My camera's also backwards here because I have to flip my camera depending on if you're in studio or not.
Oh, could you put yourself on the other side?
Yeah, because when I'm in studio, if I look to my left, I look towards the camera on screen. But when you're remote, it only works if I look right. So I have to flip the camera so I'm always looking technically towards you.
Wow.
Your camera is off though. Why is your camera so?
Oh yeah, that is interesting. I'm longer than usual.
I don't know why that is. So we're just going to do that.
Chop it up.
We're just going to move you upwards, and that's fine.
Moving on up.
Yeah, I did say that episode, and I do appreciate how they address that. Just recognizing, hey, you know what? Times change, so do we. And sometimes when you're just in the mix of coming up with ideas, sometimes it slips. A bad idea gets by. Everyone thinks it's funny at the time, and then you look back and you're like, yeah, no.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
I appreciate that. I do appreciate them addressing it and not just being like, that was a bad joke, move on. Like, they called themselves out, rightfully so. I like it. I appreciate that they do that.
Is owning up to it and turning over a new leaf or whatever. You know what I mean?
And I also like too, like, again, they glossed over it in a very good way where they stopped it. They stopped the video. They addressed it, just as Des says. but then they immediately move on, right? They don't sit with it. They don't try to hide from it, but they also don't sit there and let it replay and like go,
Well,
oh, this is such a bad joke. Listen to how bad this joke is. Oh my God, listen to it again. You know, they don't do that kind of cringe, you know, aspect. They're just like, hey, this joke coming up, we regret it. And then they just play it, it moves on, and then that's it. They're just like, so again, like kind of cool. I don't think a lot of creators really look back on their art that way, or their, even their own content. And when they do, I think a lot of the times they just try to just not address it, shove it under the rug.
Either that or make it out to be better than it actually is.
Yeah, instead of just, hey, own up to it. You said it,
exactly.
You either regret it or you don't. You either recognize it was bad or you don't. Oh, you're sideways.
Oh my goodness, please don't tell me.
I don't think that's me. I think that was you.
No, it died again.
But I can still see you.
Why this thing is... No, like you.
Oh, it's frozen. No, you're okay. You're frozen.
Yeah. All right. So, God bless America. All right.
That's up to you, Des. Do you want us to know the? Do you want us to know what the inspiration was?
We're gonna try some ghetto stuff here.
Hey, if it doesn't work, then we got your voice. That's all that matters.
I'm curious.
You don't want to break your phone.
They haven't dropped from.
I mean, Des, do you want us to try? Like, would we know it? Like, should we try to guess it? You'll save it for later. Maybe it lands like a punchline. Okay. I wonder if that's a clue. Are you trying to be punny here? We'll see. The Henchman.
Is it Batman? No. Joker? No.
We'll find out.
What's the most classic? Ooh, the Joker. No, see.
All right.
Yeah,
well, hey, there's going to be an ad here, so you're going to have a few seconds, a minute or so to fix your camera if you're trying.
I definitely am. It's gonna. There we go. They finally dropped out of the call. I was like, what's going on?
All right, we'll take a 1 minute ad break while Kage fixes the cam.
Let's see.
All right, 1 minute ad break. It feels weird that I can just do that, but it also gives us like I think half hour or so of free nothing.
That's not the button I wanted to press. Tap. Ooh, I need to switch that. How do I switch that?
Okay. Hey, look at that.
Perhaps.
Almost. I mean, you're there. It's a camera.
Let's get the focus. Let me see. Yeah, is that working? Yeah, that's better.
What?
The
No.
orientation's gonna be a little bit weird.
Oh,
to play with it.
Is that why I had you so low? There we go.
Sounds better.
All right. So we have to figure out exactly. We'll have to guess maybe what the Henchman was inspired after. But all right, let's start here with the Henchman, a new background from Desmar. Starting as always with a description. In the dark underbelly of cities, where shadows conceal nefarious dealings and power is often gained through force, the Henchmen work towards their boss's unknown ends. These loyal and often unscrupulous individuals serve as the right hand to those who wield influence, carrying out their master's will with unwavering loyalty and willingness to get their hands dirty. So
Okay.
True henchman working for a boss, doesn't ask questions. Boss needs something, it gets done. Okay.
I got you. It reminds me of this really strange anime I just started watching called Kamen Rider. And the bad guys have these weird henchmen, and they're exactly that. They're just these loyal to a fault, weirdo dudes that are just like, as you command, good sir.
I like it. Yeah, no, I like that as a good. That's a good background, like lore, like just being loyal to a core, and now being out in the world, you know, loyal to no one.
Imagine you go from being a henchman to being a cleric, or from being a henchman to being a paladin or something, and they're just really,
Mm.
really good at like following a code or being loyal to an
Oh,
entity, a
this
deity,
would be great for
whatever.
like an oath paladin.
Right?
Just they went from
Exactly.
serving a person to serving a greater purpose. But
Mm-hmm.
interesting. Okay, so let's see what it gets. Starting out, we get some skill proficiencies: athletics and stealth, which great for a henchman. I like both of those actually.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Tool
Although I
proficiency.
will say it divide athletics.
That's
Yes, it
dexterity.
does divide your it divides your stats because athletics is strength based and stealth is dex based.
I
So
like that though
you'll end up
because I feel like it makes it more versatile of a background. Because again, instead of it being like I'm only going to choose this background for XYZ, it says I can choose this background for A or B, right?
and I think it's kind of interesting. So it's like, say you have a high strength and like a moderate dexterity, like the proficiency makes up for the deficit, but it doesn't like make it better than its predecessor, right? So if you have athletics, like yeah, I'm gonna have a +7, but my +4 might be a +6 now, right, or
Yeah,
something like that. Like it'll balance itself out to a degree and be like a decent stat at that point. So I'm not mad at
yeah.
it. I'm not mad at it at all.
I like that. I think that's a great spread. I do like doing. I like the idea that it's not just focusing on only Dexter strength. So I'm cool with that. What up, Hecate? All right. So tool proficiencies are land vehicles. So what are land vehicles as fifth edition defines them?
So, as far as I understand it, like anything that you would consider driving on land. So,
So
something
carts,
like
buggies, carts, wagons, sleds. Okay,
carts,
so
yes.
anything regardless of its locomotion. So it's not
I
just
would
anything
say
horse drawn. It could be wolf drawn. It's anything powered
correct.
that has a steering. Like
Correct.
okay, so anything controllable that's powered. Gotcha. I just yeah, I
And
just wanted
I
to make
would
sure there
say
wasn't anything I was missing in terms of what fifth
it
edition would
does
classify.
not include being mounted. So like if you're just riding a lizard, or if you're just riding a horse, or if you're just riding a rhino or an elephant,
Gotcha.
I
Not
would not
saddles.
consider that being a land vehicle. I would consider that
Gotcha.
being mounted, which is a
It has to
different
be a
category.
device connected to some sort of powers. Gotcha.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Chariot, for example, something like that.
I like that. It definitely gives the chauffeur vibe. I will say that right out the gate.
Yeah.
It lands that chauffeur vibe of, go get the vehicle. Like my personal bodyguard, but also my chauffeur.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, I'm in for that. I'm in for that. And then we have languages, one of your choice. I mean, I'm assuming that common is always a standard. When it
You're
says
probably
one of
gonna
your
have common
choice,
already.
what's that?
I say you're probably gonna have common already is all.
I like one of your choice. I also, for something like this, it would be kind of fun because you were either because I don't know if we're going to get into anything like this, but if you could choose lore wise to whether or not you were previously a henchman or still are a henchman, because it's a background, so whether or not you still have a boss, I would love a roll
True.
table that you can either like a trait table where you can roll or choose, but I'd love a roll table where it says what kind of boss you had or currently have. And based on the type of boss, is you get one language of your choice and one associated to your boss. So, like, let's say you have a
Yes.
demon or like a
Yes.
crossroads demon or something like that as a boss, you would know
Absolutely.
Abyssal.
Absolutely.
But you could
That's
also have a language of your
exactly.
choice. So it's like, common, one of your choice, and one from the boss that you had. That would be
Are
really
you talking about
cool.
an additional one? I thought that was my thinking. Is that's what the purpose of this is? Of saying it's one of your choice. It's like
It's
as
who,
you're
whichever one you
creating this,
needed.
you're saying what your background is. Like who did you used to work for? So I used to
I
work for this goblin mob boss in the Underdark or whatever the case may
I'm
be.
just
And I
suggesting
know I
that,
know goblin. Like
right. I'm suggesting having both, just because of the idea of, if you're a henchman, you may have started out with one, but you may work, like, let's say you wanted to be an elf. So you want elven, but let's say you did become a henchman for someone who spoke, abyssal, right? The
sure.
idea would be you would still want to be able to speak elven. Now, so that's kind of one of those things where I unless there is a default way where that would already have been given based off race,
If
I that's
yeah,
my argument
usually
for giving both.
yeah. So the one of your choice, especially when it comes from your background, because not all backgrounds get languages. You're
It's considered
gonna
like in
have
addition
your
to.
innate language. Yes, these are all going to be in addition to whatever you get from your standard race. So at your
Okay.
race, you usually get common and the language of your native speaking people, right? And sometimes even more than that. Rarely, but sometimes, like with humans.
No, that
But
makes sense. It's been a long week, I told you.
um,
It's been a long week and it's only Monday.
but absolutely,
But yeah, so okay, that's right. Because
that's
for backgrounds, it's only going to be additive to whatever your base is at character creation. So yeah, this is just going to be one
absolutely.
additional language of your choice. So yeah, so go. Yeah, so I still think that it would be kind of cool to have some sort of a roll table though, like what type
I
of
think that
mob
would be
boss you
cool.
have. Like you could have a couple races, you could have a couple like different types, like primordial types, like just being able to have some sort of a roll table or selection, because it would be kind of also nice. That's another layer of lore, right? Like if it's I had a history with a goblin, boss. Not only do I know goblin because of that, but maybe that's also a great way to tie that into roleplay later. Is goblin lore now, not just their language, but you used to be a goblin henchman. Like the inner workings of things. So I think being able to tie it directly also to it could be a cool feature. Not necessarily like it needs it, but it would be cool.
And so that is a common theme in backgrounds. I don't know if we actually had it in the last background that we did. I'm pretty sure we did. But basically, what you'll see like a roll table of like a specific element of your lore, or like
Mm.
why this lore applies to you. Like there was one for something where you were like a dragon something, and so you had to like choose like either one of the elements or something like that. Let me see if I can. I'll see, all my stuff is dead and occupied right now. Hold on.
Okay, so yeah, so I mean, I
But
like
yeah,
it.
it's
Single language is
cool.
totally fine. I just, it inspires me to think of, because we love the idea of like having the old boss. Would be nice if that directly related to like your last or current boss.
Sure. Traits. That's what it was. Traits and sometimes trinkets.
Ah, okay.
So yeah. Just like little extra. What do you call it?
It's the bits and pieces. The bits and pieces.
Yes, the bits and pieces. Exactly.
All right, and then
Um,
it also, for equipment, it gets a couple things actually. So we get a portable RAM. That's interesting. I like the idea, but man, carrying that thing around would be a beast of a maneuver. But I do think it's a very unique piece of equipment, so I don't mind it. Um, Bag of ball bearings, classic getaway. Crowbar, henchman's uniform, which basically is just common clothes. Domino mask. What would constitute a domino mask? What's the reference that I'm not catching there? Can you clarify, Des, what the domino mask is?
I'm not
Uh,
sure.
and then a pouch containing 10 gold coins. So yeah, the portable RAM is fascinating. I think it's a great, unique piece of equipment, but feasibly, I'm just trying to think of like how that would work, because usually those things are just a giant hunk of metal.
They weigh 35 pounds. So that's definitely pretty hefty. Um, yeah, unless you have like a bag of holding or something, you can just stuff this
Oh,
sucker in.
gotcha. Okay, it's I I'm sure I've heard that referenced that way. I don't think it's just something I've commonly referenced to that, but it's the domino mask being just the eye cover. Like think about like Robin from Batman and Robin, just how it kind of just slaps over their
Oh,
eyes.
I've never heard that terminology.
I think I've
Interesting.
heard
Okay.
it. I just don't know where I've heard it before. But yeah, it's not a common thing I've used. But okay, so yeah, so we're just talking about just slap over the eyes. That makes a little bit. Instructor says it needs a little bit of spice, like an ability of what bribe once per day. You can sacrifice 10 gold pieces to gain advantage on one charisma or persuasion check. Interesting. I could see that. See, that's it. See, honestly, why is that not just a like that? I could just see that as a basic feat,
Exactly what I was about to
right?
say.
That could
Like,
just
not
be
even
a
maybe a
feat you should
feat,
be
but
able to
like,
take where you could bribe, like just because you have the ability to persuade and deceive. Why can't I bribe? Like I guess that's just role play, but I would kind of like just a generalized feat where I can just automatically get a bump for bribing. That's cool. I wouldn't mind that.
ooh, okay. So here's what I would do though. I would say, depending upon who you're trying to bribe, they have a multiplier, and that multiplier is how many X gold gives you a +1 to your roll, right? So if your
Interesting.
multiplier is a +5, then I give you 1 gold. I give you 5 gold. I get a +1, right? So if you're like a really really bougie dude, if you're like a like like really high up, and you make stupid money, your multiplier is going to be like a 20 or a 30, maybe even 100 times multiplier. You get a +1 for every 100 gold you spend. So you're gonna have to spend a lot of money to
That's true.
convince this
Okay,
person.
that's interesting.
But like, but like basic people, like yeah, most people are gonna have like a +1 multiplier, right? Like easy.
We should talk about that. We should workshop
Interesting.
that a little bit more later. I like this idea.
Yeah,
All
this is very cool. This is very cool.
right, all right, all right. So let's move to our features then. So our first feature is called a cog in the machine. As a result of your time in the service of a greater force, you're familiar with the larger operations and the systems needed to run them. Waterways, sewage lines, shipping and receiving, these are all things that you're familiar with. You can I'm not sure. Ingratiate, is that what the word I'm looking for? Is that
Ooh,
you can
that might be the
ingratiate
word.
yourself?
That sounds like the word.
Yes, so you can
Ingratiate.
ingratiate
Yes.
yourself with the humble working man of these larger operations. These type of people are these type of people that go unseen are your kind of people. So this is interesting. This is a great feature because this is very similar to a feature that I think is really underplayed by DMs. They don't really let players lean on it too much, and it's oh, of course I told you it's been a week and it's only Monday. um
Fair.
it's the
Very
ability
valid.
where you can just like get lost in a crowd.
Yes.
I forget what it's called,
Yes.
but like not
Hide
blend
in plain
in.
sight.
Yeah. So and that's where I feel like that's this, but in the level of professional society, right? In the level of like
Yes.
the labor market working man, where you don't disappear into a crowd because you just blend in, but this is just being able to show up on a shipping dock. And by the next day, you're working, the foreman kind of thing, right? You're just, so well, you can show up on a job site and just act like you know what you're doing. I really like that. I think that this is so much better than just knowing people, being able to,
Mm-hmm.
again, get a ride somewhere, get information
For sure.
somewhere. I think this is fantastic. I think features like these are underutilized by a lot of DMs, especially in fifth edition. I don't think they provide enough situations where something like this is that useful. So I love
Mm.
it. I want more stuff like this because it lets the player really lean into those moments where they, in a sense, get to
Yes.
take control, right?
Absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely.
what is wrong with? I feel like my camera was like way small for some reason. Oh, excuse me.
Plus.
Ugh. All right, and then our other one. Okay, so that was our only feature there, and then we have a little bit of information on building a henchman. So, henchmen are individuals who have chosen a life of servitude in the criminal underworld or as enforcers for those with power, and as such are commonly rogues. Interesting. Okay.
I could see rogue or barbarian in that scenario, especially if you're talking about being an enforcer, right? Imagine just like a doorman or whatever at like a nightclub or something like that.
Right.
Like,
That's what I was thinking. Maybe fighter. Like I could also see fighter, like
yeah.
failed town's guardsman, turn bouncer, turn henchman.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, rogue is not a problem. I just think that fighter, barbarian. I think those are valid. And again, now with
Absolutely.
the oath paladin, I'm pretty sure you could even say paladin. Like at that point, right? This is basically just a non-divine paladin, dedication to an individual. So
totally.
again, not saying that this is wrong. Just I could make the argument for other ones.
I think exactly.
They might serve crime lords, corrupt nobles, or dark entities, executing tasks that demand loyalty and willingness to tread the murky waters of morality. Henchmen often develop a unique set of skills in be it intimidation, stealth, or deception. When creating a henchman character, work with your DM to establish your character's connection to their boss and the nature of the criminal activities they have been involved in. I love that. I love that push to make this more than just these core mechanics. But be it that, you were in the drug shipping trade versus the intimidation and racketeering, knowing that, giving your character a push towards whether they should go the intimidation route, whether they should go the payoff route, whether they should go the sneaky route. I like that it's pushing for that to be part of the character build instead of just here's the mechanic rolling.
Yeah. No, I vibe with that. I feel like having some sort of like a concrete idea of like the direction, like the feel your character actually has, it's unfortunately lost in a lot of characters. But this just like giving you those tiny little nuggets, just having them even in the back of your head helps out so much when it comes to application in your regular roleplay.
And Destructor, you're totally right. Like this is one of the things that we've talked about before, which is why you hear me say things like, I'll say things during our reviews like this is good, but not for 5e or vice versa. Some things are better for 5e. I love this, but this is absolutely something that is not utilized as much by DMs. So while I would absolutely suck this up, right? If a player came to me and with this, I would just dive into it. I'd be like, let's go. Who is your boss? What did they do? Because that's going to actively be involved in their gameplay, right? I'm going to take all of that. But you're right. Without going back up to this feature with a cog in the machine, without this explicitly ending with the sentence that says you get a +2 to persuasion checks with labor workers. Sure. Like, because that's what it would have to say, right, Destructor? Like, that's what we're talking about is like, as a result, you're familiar with waterways and shipping lines. But it's like, unless your DM wants to roleplay that, unless this says you get a +2 to investigation checks when dealing with services, or you get a +2 to figuring this stuff out. Like, unless it states that, Destructor's right. There's so many DMs are going to let this slip and not be valid.
There is a problem with, because the problem is this follows very well what traditional backgrounds articulate for their features. There is no specific mechanical benefit, right? There's no numbers attached to anything. There's no roles attached to anything. But I would like something like, imagine this said something to the effect of like, it's almost like passive, meaning unless somebody like succeeds some sort of perception or insight check, you are indistinguishable from the workers in any given particular area.
So you could just end it with saying passive perception checks are made at disadvantage when you're against you. So again, whenever you're doing something that would require the DM to roll passive perception, it's at disadvantage.
Theoretically, passive, in 5th edition at least, passive perception isn't rolled. Passive perception is like a specific number that a character has. So, like, one of my characters has a passive perception of 17. So that means, theoretically, like if somebody is like trying to stealth around me and they roll a 16, I
Oh,
will
that's
notice
right. It's
them
their
even
DC
without
check.
rolling.
That's right. The fifth edition turns
Yes,
it
and
into the
so
DC check, not the roll that they would make. God, see,
it's
this
yeah,
is.
it's weird.
I mean, I get why they did DC checks for the streamlining. It's just not my preferred method of doing it. I'd much rather each individual, like again, like the DC check is forcing the attempt against the person versus the person's awareness in the moment, right? I'd much rather, individualize the person's awareness, not the attempt, if that makes more sense, right?
Sure.
Like what I focus the die roll on. But no, you're absolutely right. So, but I do agree with you. If it would end with some sort of verbiage that would give a concrete mechanic to follow, at least the DMs who aren't as engaged with backgrounds or players that aren't as engaged still have something to draw off.
Yeah.
Oh,
I,
that's also a good idea too, is if you have any kind of money making during downtime, having this background be able to give you a modifier to how much money you could possibly make.
that's true. That's true.
Like
Because
even
I'm
just like a
pretty
point
sure
0.5
there's some like
modifier.
isn't there I think one of the entertainer backgrounds or something like that will allow you to like make money at like taverns and street corners and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say there's anything wrong with doing something like that for a background like this.
I think that would be pretty cool. Um yeah, again, role play wise, I like this because depending on who you choose, I really
Absolutely.
do like how much I could play around with what they would know and what benefits they would get for their background. So I like it. This is like a background that has like like a branch of options. It's almost like a
For sure.
background that has its own subclass or its own subclasses.
Actually, valid, valid. Yeah, I imagine there's like a Gotham themed D&D game, and there's a bunch of just like Gotham bad guy henchmen that you can choose from. Oh, I'm gonna be a part of Riddler's gang. I want to be a part of Penguin's gang, or I'm gonna be a part of the Joker's gang. And you get different vibes from depending on which gang you're a part of or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That would be wild.
Oh, Des just posted what you were talking about, the performance ability.
Oh, did he? Uh,
All right, so we have some suggested characteristics while you're reading up on that. Adventurers who work as a henchman often develop quirks on the job. The swindler personality trait table suggests various traits you might adopt for your character. All right, so we have the violence I've been forced to commit has caused me to develop a nervous tick.
yes.
Interesting. See, these are ones where I feel like these have been lost for so long. Like these are kind of things where I like it, and it's a great concept to have traits, but again, kind of like with what we just talked about without the mechanics, I don't know. It's like how often will this actually come up in the Oh, swindler should not be there. Gotcha. I thought it was misspelled. I was like, did I say it wrong? No. But it's one of those things where it's like I like
Oh, this would be
traits
an
that do
interesting.
this, but how often do players actually play into them, and how often do they come up? And I don't know. It just feels like sometimes these are just overlooked as like, oh, they're optional, so I won't even bother. But again, that's a conversation for another day. But I like them. I just wish they mattered, because I feel like they've been dead for so long.
I'll say this might be a part where we disagree a little bit. I feel like stuff like this is almost the player's responsibility. Kind of like at the end of To Build a Henchman, where it talks about getting into like the details of like your boss with the DM and all that stuff. Like that stuff that helps inform you on like how you're playing your character. Like I feel like choosing one of these or rolling for one of these is to the same end. It's supposed to help inform you about how to play your character. So
Oh,
if
I
you're
agree.
you're thinking about my character, and so like that's why I'm like, okay, it's a great tool. It's just that nobody uses it. Like they'll
That's my
take the
point.
tool and
Yeah,
they'll
that's
spit it
that's
out
my
and
whole
they'll
point. Is
forget
it's
it.
been like stuff like this has just been lost to the efficient gameplay because no one does this unless that's their thing, right? If they want to do something like this, they will just do it as part of their character regardless of the build because they want to play
And
that, right?
that's
But
And
the
that's
fact
what
that
I
the
think people
henchman
need to get more
comes with
into.
these is lost as a value because either you're going to do it or you're not. But I feel like if you're going to do it, you're going to do it because you already chose to.
Sure,
So I
sure.
agree with you. I 100%
Yes.
agree. These should be
I'll say
enforceable in some way, but there is no way to enforce you doing these. So they're
I'll say this.
optional.
When I'm creating a character, I very much appreciate the fact that they're there because it helps to give me inspiration for something that I would want for my character. And even if I don't pick one of these specifically, I usually get inspired by one of these to do something perhaps unique or
That's
just
good.
choose from one of the ones that are available here. So I'll say I appreciate their presence at the very least, even if the majority of people don't use it
If
well.
they're at least doing that, then I'll say that they still have a place, right? At least if they're inspiring, then at least they're doing something, right? They're not completely
For
useless.
sure. Fair enough.
All right, so the second one, I find it hard to stay my tongue when my boss is insulted. Okay, so whoever you're working for, got that. My allegiance to my boss is unwavering, and I will go to any lengths to fulfill my duties. I don't know if that's really a trait. I feel like that's the background itself. So it's interesting that that's a trait, even though it feels like that's kind of like been the vibe of the whole background.
Sure.
I have a dark sense of humor, finding amusement in the misfortune of others. I'm stoic and reserved, revealing little about my emotions or intentions. I'm adept at reading people and can quickly discern their motives and weaknesses.
Valid. Hopefully you put that into your actual character too, but valid.
So what's interesting is like none of these, they're all very like, I mean, I guess the second one, I find it hard to stay my tongue. I guess that could be like a very barbarian one. Like that could be your barbarian trigger when someone insults, like, you know, you or your boss. That's what
Yeah.
triggers your
I'm
rage.
going into a rage. Let's go. I do kind of like that.
Yeah, that there could be some work with that one. Oh, you don't like the last one? Adept at reading people. I mean, the thing with this, it's like, the question is the trait something that you can enact, or is the trait something that you can actually do and that benefits you, right?
I will say yes, the last one, it doesn't give you any specific benefit to do that, but again, if and maybe instead of saying I am, it's saying you believe you're really adept at reading people, and whether you are or aren't, you act as though you are. You act as though I can discern their motives and I know their weaknesses, and I call you out for those things. So I think that might be a better way to play a trait because again, it doesn't actually give you any theoretical mechanical benefit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's the thing with it, with the traits. It's almost like, you know, I mean, this one can, you know, just be, you know, due to assassination attempts against my boss, or, you know, due to the roles I played for my boss. You know, I'm very quick to draw my weapon at the slightest sign of aggression. So it's like, you know, then you could play the character to where someone goes to be like, I have something for you, and then you're like, I draw my sword, and they're like, it's a letter. You know, that kind of amusement of you're the, like someone steps close to your friend and you step immediately in between them and like, what are you doing? Like I was gonna shake their hand. You know,
As a
that kind.
DM, I would mess with my players that have that mentality. I'd be like, I just randomly to this player, I'd be like, hey, do me a favor, roll me a perception check. Yeah, you see this guy reaching slowly into his inside jacket pocket. Oh, I draw my sword. Yeah, he pulls out a letter and he hands it to your boss.
No. But that would be a great one, right? Just one where you react overtly to everything. Just you overreact with the ability to shut down the situation, but it's always. It's like every time a door like creaks open and you're sitting down, you always just have to stand up. You're just like, it's cool. Just we ordered tea. It's fine.
Breathe.
Ooh, Oath of the Guild Paladin. Similar to Oath of the Crown, but with a darker feel, or that boosts intimidation. Ability to reaction dive in front of one of your allies to take damage. Ooh, I like that. We've talked about being able to do that before as a feat.
Yeah.
We've actually talked about having a feat where you can just, you know, jump in the way. I like that. Dirty tricks like pocket sand, knocking enemies prone. as channel
Love me some
divinity.
pocket sand.
I mean, honestly, you know what? Why isn't there
my
a feat
gosh.
or a fighting style called Fighting Dirty? Like, I'm just
I
saying there should be a
swear there
fighting
was
style.
something like that.
Like, can you imagine a fighting style where it gives you, so it's like you know how certain fighters can get a second fighting style or certain subclasses can get a second fighting style? So what if one of the
Sure.
fighting styles can't be chosen as a main one, right? It has to be a secondary one, which could be one of the weird caveats. Because again, that's something that you could have in older editions, but fifth edition, I don't know if they would like it too much. But so it has to be a second fighting style that you when you choose it, and it's called dirty fighting. And similar to blind fighting, but this one, it's always bonus actions, so you get no primary attacks, hence why it has to be a secondary fighting style. But all of the bonus ones get status effects. Like you can kick someone, you can use a bonus attack, like a bonus action to kick someone in the groin. It has a higher chance to fail, like you have to you maybe get like a -2 to your roll. But if you succeed, they like are stunned until the end of, or until the start of their next turn. You know, maybe you can kick someone in the kneecap.
Interesting.
And if you succeed in kicking them in the kneecap as a bonus action, they lose half their speed until the start of your next turn. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's a whole fighting style where all it is in the middle of fighting, you use bonus actions to fight dirty, pocket sand, groin kicks, kicking the kneecaps, you know, liver punches, break a rib. What's that?
My initial thought, I said I like the status effect mindset to it. My initial thought was actually basically just give a unique bonus action, kind of similar to the rogue's cunning action. But basically all it does is the bonus action's called dirty fighting. And you can call it a kick to the groin, you can call it pocket sand, you can call it whatever you want to call it. But you do something, and whenever you use this bonus action, your next melee weapon attack has advantage.
And okay, yeah, that would be much simpler. I think simpler for fifth edition without having
or something. And then you're way more likely to hit. You're way more likely to crit. And you know, I feel like it'd be too much if it was like full on reckless attack, basically giving you advantage until.
Yeah, I don't think advantage would work, but I do like that. That is kind of cool. Just yeah, because there is no dirty fight. Like you're not allowed to do any of that. Like there's nothing that you're, you know, that you can really.
I mean, it's not that you're not allowed to. You do it.
There's just no mechanic for it.
Yeah. We'll experiment. Let's see what happens. That's all I'm saying.
That's what I'm telling you, man. Stagger condition needs to my stagger condition needs to be put in fifth edition. Like it wouldn't have as much effect. Well, I guess maybe it would have as much effect on static initiative because it would be a permanent shift at that point. So that could be even more so beneficial in fifth edition. I still think that needs to happen.
Agreed.
Well, we have a little bit more on this one though. So you mentioned this before. We have Henchman trinkets now. When you make a character, you may roll once on the Henchman trinkets table instead of the trinkets table in the player's handbook for your starting trinket. We get anything from a signed headshot of the boss.
God bless America. That's hilarious. I love it.
Oh man, that's amazing. I just want it to be like a little wallet size one too, where you just like keep it in your pocket.
Just look at it every once in a while. Oh, the boss.
For the boss.
It's so great, man.
Oh, an insignia that identifies you to your fellow henchmen. I love stuff like this. Like as a DM, those are the kind of trinkets that I really like having my players have.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see. A unique silver pocket watch with an intricate design, a reward for a successful and discreet operation.
Oh, very nice. Classy. We like
it. See, I just read that and I'm just like, the kind of DM that I am, I read that and go, man, if my player either rolled or chose that one, guaranteed it's going to be way more important than they think it is. Because again, words matter to me, right? And if this is a reward from that boss and it just looks like a pocket watch, I'm like, it's not just a pocket watch. Like it's never just a pocket watch, right? Like it just sounds like it's going to have to be one of those things where it's like, man, that's going to be one of those clutch, like basically you break the pocket watch and then there's like something inside of it, or like at the time like he's about to die and then he realizes that it's like, you know, a potion or something. Like it would just be one of those things where inside, like, it's just got to be more valuable. But I'm also the kind of person where, because I've done this before when I used to be a rogue, is you give me a signed headshot of the boss, and we talked about this, it is either my current or my former boss, right? My brain as a rogue immediately goes, wait, I got a signed headshot of the boss. I have my boss's signature.
Yep.
And if I'm a rogue, my first thought is I'm going to forge that motherfucker. So boom, I now have, so it's like, I'm looking at this in that sense of like, wow, I could, this is why as a DM, I like these things. I just don't think enough DMs reward players for using them, right? Like you said, they're there for the players to have an idea of how to play. But unfortunately, DMs don't really reward you for playing your character well outside of everyone's having a good time. And I know that that's something that, you know, we've talked about. That's not really like a mechanical thing you can put in. But for me, I try my hardest to really make sure that when you play your character in a way that you've designed it, you benefit by getting a much richer experience for that character, right? You benefit by me throwing that exact experience that you're looking for at them because you're indulging in it. So I feel like these are those things that make it easier when you're
friendship again.
What's up, Cart? Thank you so much. 14 months. Let's go.
Let's get it, Cart.
I think that was right behind too. I think we just had another one from Hecate with 19 months just the other day.
Ooh,
just the other day.
Wild, y'all. We're gonna be getting 24 months here pretty soon.
Oh, wait, you were gone, Cart? What? You were gone? No. I'm just messing with you. No, welcome back. Nice to see you again. Don't worry about it. Real life always comes first, right? That's what we always say. It's true. It happens.
True that. Always.
Don't worry about it. But nice to have you back. Thank you so much for the sub. We do appreciate it. Where were we? Oh yeah, so we were on the pocket watch. So yeah, I would absolutely insert other additional benefits. Just, I really do like the idea of being able to use these things for more than just it's a trinket. Like, no, think about what we're talking about. There's a signature on here. That's an important person's signature. You might be able to use that later, right? A pocket watch might have something into it. Yeah. So I don't know. Oh yeah, the pocket command word. The pocket watch has a command word that casts slow on you. Back up if you ever try to betray him. See, someone's thinking. Someone out there is thinking right, because that's the kind of thing that you should be doing as a DM, is pre-planning those kind of things, because you don't want to Deus Ex Machina it in the moment, right? You don't want to be that DM that just, oh, I don't like what's going on here. Boom. But if you can backtrack it and be like, oh, how did I do that? That watch I gave you. Did you ever look at the insignia on the back? It looked beautiful, right? That's actually this certain kind of script, and it has this command word. And now if you look at the watch, that seal is gone. Like, you know what I mean? It's basically, you call it a ward. Like, there's just, there's so much in it. And if you never questioned it, if you never had someone who knows magic inspect it, and that would be the thing, right? You have to be honest and know that had they gotten it inspected, they would have found out that it's a ward, right? But
right.
You have, you know, as long as you plant the breadcrumbs, there's nothing wrong with doing that. And I like that as an example. We do have 3 more. We have a mysterious key with no known purpose, a relic from a job long past. Oh, I could have so much fun with that.
Yup. Absolutely.
Des wants to make the watch a divination source. The boss can always hear and see whenever they want. That
would make a lot of sense. That would make a lot of sense.
A concealed lock of hair from someone you hold dear, a secret token of your humanity. Ooh. See, that's good. It's just, do players really get connected to their character enough for something like that? Like, this is like one of those gems, like, of a trait, but this is what we talk about when we create characters. We get into them. Something like this would be such a deep driver to build a character around, but do players really care about that to, like, really be able to benefit from this? Because with me, if I had that one, I definitely want there to be a barbarian involved, because then that just keys it up for, like, the rage of the century moment, right? When something happens to that lock of hair, and you just lose all, like, again, you lose your humanity in that moment. Oh, there's just so much to play around with that.
But I'll tell you this: I don't care what the rules say. That rage is not going to stop after 1 minute. Like, I'd
Yeah,
be
that
surprised
right.
if that rage stops after 10 minutes. Like, I don't care what's going on. That
I
man
mean,
is
I'm definitely the
destroying
kind of DM that
everything.
if a player had this token or had this trinket and they were and they were a barbarian and the trinket got lost, burned, or whatever, and in that moment they use that to trigger their rage, I would absolutely be like, by the way, this is going to be a rage like no other. And I would just kind of give them a couple additional boosts during that rage time. I would just be like, yeah, this is not going to be your normal rage. You've lost control. Have fun. Because I think, again, you need to be able to narratively do that and thematically do that for your players. Because I'm a big proponent, I haven't said this in a long time on stream, but I'm a big proponent in making sure that your characters remember how far they've come, right? Let them shine, but not in the they can just kill everything in one hit kind of way. Like, let them shine in a way that makes them look and feel like the most powerful NPCs they saw when they first started, right? And it's those kind of times where you could be like, oh yeah, supercharged rage moment, like, just go to town with it, because you want to have that I turned into Hulk one time story, right?
You know what?
Not
I would love to do something like when you Hulk out like this and you like say you're rolling to do damage on something, like all of a sudden you're doing like twice as much damage as you thought you were gonna do, and you're like, oh my gosh, what did I really just do that? Like I did 15 points of damage. All right, he takes 30 points of damage. He takes what?
exactly,
Like,
right?
yeah, like that is just so such top tier to me. Like that's the storytelling that I want my players to get into, and why I want them to be like, yo, this stuff means something, and like doing something with something that means something gives me so much more than just min-maxing or whatever the case may be, trying to game the system.
Destructor has a good idea for the key, by the way. If the boss ever dies, the key will open the next, like, will like be drawn to a door, which will then open to like a kind of like a teleporter, where it will take you to a secret room that has payment and a spell of resurrection. So it's
Oh,
like, here's a key,
snap.
but I've died. Come get me. It's just, there's a letter that says, use this money to come res me. Do whatever it takes. You keep whatever's left over.
That would be kind of wild. That would be kind of wild.
Because you
Yo,
could put that, you could put that note, you could
the
put like a scroll
leverage.
of finding, to where like there you could cast the spell to go find the body. Like, that could be a whole quest line.
I'd be kind of legit.
I like that. I like that. And then the last one, we have a black silk handkerchief embroidered with a symbol of loyalty, a gift from your master as a mark of your rank. Again, this one could have the same aspects of what we talked about with the pocket watch. So this could just basically be a way to listen in on you, always know where you are. It could be a tracking device. There could be an intricate spell woven into it, to where it's like a super powerful spell, but, you know, again, it's like a one-time use, but they don't know it. Oh, you know what would be messed up? Like, the handkerchief is a spell scroll, like, you know, just a complete spell in and of itself, and it's like just designed to go off with like a trigger word, but it's essentially power word kill. So you just give that to your you just give that to all your henchmen, and it's like, if they ever mess around, all you have to do is just like say the command word, and the handkerchief just power word kills them.
So I'm thinking that this boss is like secretly a lich, and he just happens to trust you enough to give you his phylactery and just not tell you that it's his phylactery.
Oh, and then all the dirty deeds you do when you go kill people, what you don't realize is you're actually just refilling the phylactery.
Yo,
Every time
and
you
then
go
imagine
and
one
every
of
time you
these
go and collect
days,
on someone.
and like you think you're getting more and more powerful, then all of a sudden he resurrects and like takes all that freaking power with him. Yo, that would be a wild oh, that would be so crazy. That'd be messed up, but that would be wild.
I like that though. I like that.
That's so crazy. That's so crazy. But
This is cool.
sounds like
I like this background. This is a cool background.
very much so. Very much so. A lot of fun.
Oh, this is really good. I mean,
ooh, I could see that. That would be so well. Ooh, lockpick set.
Ooh,
Violent. That would
yeah.
actually be kind of clean. I'd mess with that.
That's nice. That's nice. Oh, you know, it would be hella funny. The cloth has persistent prestidigitation on it, so you can take it out and clean anything. So it's like you get a stain on your shirt or blood, you just take out the handkerchief and just rub it on your arm or your clothes, and it just takes the blood off because it's prestidigitation, and it's just cleaning everything, and you're just like, okay, cool. And then you just wipe it off, it self cleans, and then you just put that back in.
That's actually kind of clean. I like that idea a lot. Kind of just want one of those now.
Because it goes, yeah, it's just like a handkerchief that would just clean anything. You know, you just wipe it on anything.
Does that mean I could like wrap a cup of soup in it and warm it up? Because it's theoretically that's just prestidigitation. It's just a different form of it. Or
Yeah, why not? Like, yeah, you would just be able to like, yeah, pull out the handkerchief, put the bowl on it, like hold it, you know, the bowl like a plate, and then yeah, it would just warm it up. But yeah, it would just be a handkerchief of prestidigitation. So not the full prestidigitation. It's only, you know, held within the handkerchief. But whatever the handkerchief can interact with, it can basically do that. So like you can take the handkerchief out and like whip it at like a fire and like start to like do a few sparks to start a fire.
Oh, clean. I like that.
See, there's a lot that could be having fun. And these are the kind of things that I like to think about, you know, as a DM. So I think this is great. Let's see. So it's phenomenal. I really do like it. I mean, I guess even if there were things I could change about it, it's still going to get the inspiration point. And it's a really cool concept. I mean, I don't really do like hard-coded backgrounds anymore because it's really just about whatever my players like fully want to build. But as something that someone can use, yeah, this is 100% something that's usable. So 10 out of 10.
Lean.
Yeah, it's there's nothing about this that if someone wanted to build a character and use this word for word, there's nothing I would say can't be usable. Like this is usable word for word, even if it's not how I would build a character behind it. Doesn't necessarily mean it wouldn't be usable. So yeah, this would be fully compatible.
This is fair. That's wild. I love it. I love it.
Okay, wait. So Kage, what is your guess or your top 3 guesses for what the inspiration is for this?
This is Des. See, if it was Hecate, I'd say it's some anime because they've gotten so many anime adaptations from Hecate. With Des, I feel like I want to say something maybe comic book related. Gosh.
So what I'm trying to think about is like if we're talking about an inspiration, I'm thinking so this isn't going to be inspired by someone who just like beats a bunch of people up, right? This is someone who when they say they're going to do something, they go all out. If they have to take a job, they take a job. If they have to get a costume, they get a costume. If they have to suck up to somebody, they suck up to somebody. If they have to kill someone, they kill someone, right? This isn't just a henchman that just is a thug. This to me is like the inspiration has to be from someone who has shown that they will and can do everything to get the job done. Now, surprisingly enough, I don't know why. I have no idea why. Long before we even really started getting into anything, the first real thing that popped in my head was Hitman. Because as we started talking about just concealing the shadows, doing whatever's needed for the boss, not thinking about it, that was one of my first choices. Ironic, yes. Wilson Fisk. Wilson Fisk gets isekai'd into Faerun by Doctor Strange.
Wild. That's hilarious.
And then that was like I don't know why my first instinct was Hitman, but that doesn't really make sense for like a henchman, really, right? But then I started to think of again what henchman does it all for the purpose of it. Then I thought, well, how serious should I take the inspiration? Like, is this a dedicated henchman who's a serious character who does these things, or could this be one of those meme characters where it's a henchman who literally does everything? Like, they clean up the house in a maid's outfit, and then they go cooking in a chef's outfit. You know what I mean? Like, could it be one of those type of henchmen that we've seen where it's like the only henchman the person has, but they act more like a butler than a henchman?
What was that anime? Is it Black Butler?
Black Butler was the one with the demon or the devil as the butler.
Yes, like that's one example of, you know, I would do anything for my master, right? I was also kind of thinking when you brought up Hitman, Mission Impossible, like whoever the dude from Mission Impossible is, because they very much serve their whatever boss. But then I was just thinking of the very, very classic Alfred. You know, Alfred, the OG henchman, the one who really does it all. I've got your back. I've got everything you need. I've done the research. I've been over there. I've set this up for you. Like, whenever they're talking about who could Batman beat with prep time, they're really saying who could Batman beat with Alfred, right?
Yeah.
Because Alfred is your prep time. He's all the wind beneath your wings and all of the things, right? So
and also, what also throws me off though is the portable RAM. I don't know why, but I feel like the portable RAM has something to do with it, right? I don't know why, but there's just something about that strikes me as like important. Go ahead, Des. I don't have any more official guesses. I mean, I don't have any like specific notable henchmen that I can think of. I've gone through all the archetypes that I can think of, but no one individual stands out. But I still think the portable RAM has something to do with it. I don't know why. I can't get over that specific little
portable RAM. I mean, like the regular like 5-0 cops. Right now.
See, okay, I was getting close with the Mimi henchman. Okay, so Venture Brothers. Yes. So okay, so I think that's where I was trying to go with Brock, is when I was saying like a henchman that literally does everything. Because when I was saying like, you know, a henchman that like, you know, like dresses like a maid, that's what I had in my head was Brock, but I couldn't remember his name and I couldn't remember Venture Bros, but that was the image that I had. So, but like, yeah, I was trying to think of like, it could have been something funny like that. So that makes sense. Henchman 21 and 24 from Venture Bros.
I'm so happy that is your answer. That is one of my favorite shows and some of my favorite henchmen of all time. So, that makes me very proud that this one got a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Absolutely.
Hopefully you enjoyed the review. That was really fun.
That was a lot of fun. I like that one. 21.
I haven't watched that series in so long. Is it still going? Is it like it like ended a while ago, right? Like it's not still going, is it?
I don't think so. But like all of those like ancient shows, like I was watching this little mockumentary about like Adult Swim and like how it got started. But like C-Lab 2021, Harvey Birdman, and what was that other terrible one with Meatwad?
Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Yeah. But like there was just some classic stupid shows, and they did good work, man. Like they were what they were, and it's basically an abridged version of a show, because I swear they just took the animation and did what the abridged people did, and like they would fully like repurpose the show. They would like take the concept art and reanimate it in different ways and do different things with it. So it's basically like, you ever watched the anime Ghost Stories?
Yeah. But wasn't that one like fully like, is that the one where they tried to buy an anime, but they got only the anime, not the audio? So they had to redub it with no context? Is that the same? Is that Ghost Stories?
So that is Ghost Stories, but the story I've heard is a little bit different. Is they tried to create this anime and they didn't actually have like a good story. Like they animated a bunch of it and they didn't have like the content for it, or it didn't go anywhere in Japan. So they just sold the rights to it, but the people that bought it was like, we'll only take it if, because they're trying to make some money back off of it. That we'll only take it if you give us like the rights to do whatever we want with it. We don't have to use your like lyrics or anything. We can just turn it into whatever we want. And then they went hard with it. I'm like,
yeah. Yeah, because I don't remember what the official. Yeah, I don't remember what the official was. I remember reading something when it first came out was just like, yeah, they bought the rights to it, but it didn't come with any audio. Like all they had was just video, no audio, and they were like,
yep,
make it. And I don't know how intentional it was, but I also remember them talking about how it was like inspired off of how they did the original like Power Rangers, where they were just basically taking a completely different TV show and cutting in American footage and then recreating the whole show.
Yes.
So like I don't know if that was intentional with them, but it's such a cool, interesting idea of taking like someone else's show and then trying to just redo it yourself.
Repurpose that, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, they did the most obscene. Yeah, well, that's what happens when you get unregulated and unchecked. All right,
man, it's top tier. Top tier.
All right, well, that was fun. I'm glad we got that almost to the hour and a half mark. As for updates, I'm hoping I'll have more energy on Friday because I am just, I'm wrecked.
I'm telling you, man, do what you can. Let's get out of here and rest up so we'll be ready and raring to go.
Yeah, so Friday, I don't know what the plan is right now. I don't think we have anything specific. We did, I think, decide on a community stream date.
Yeah.
That will be this Saturday, actually.
Yes, the 11th.
All right,
the
so
11th is right.
We'll stream Friday. We'll do something Friday. Maybe it'll be D&D related. As of right now, again, unless we become inspired or we have anything that we think that's really gonna pop off differently, I'm thinking we'll probably just try to do another gaming with the community. But Friday we'll talk a little bit more about expanding the game list outside of just the two, and so we'll try to maybe do a little bit more gaming, and maybe we'll only do like an hour at a time, just so we can cycle through more games. So look forward to that. Other than that, I got nothing else. So yeah, we'll be back Friday. I hope you guys had a fantastic weekend. I hope you guys have a great week ahead of you. We'll be back on Friday. Enjoy the rest of your night. Yeah, Desmar, third 10 out of 10. Congratulations.
I know. Congrats, man. That's impressive. It's a new record. It's got to be.
Oh, that's right. And Cart has a new list of true power words. So power word spells are on the way.
Bro, I'm hyped for that. I'm gonna be keeping my eyes on the submission.
Yeah, we need them. We need them. So get them in.
Chat.
Oh, they're sending them tomorrow. Okay, watch out for tomorrow. All right. So
let's go.
Have a good night, everybody. We'll be back on Friday. But yeah, hope you guys have a good week. Cheers.
Deuces, my friends.